Ladies and gentlemen, I have been lucky enough to get my hands on a early access edition of Where Winds Meet's upcoming update with the Hidden Mountain. In today's video, I'm going to be talking all about Inner Ways, but stay tuned for a ton of more content, including this entire new region right here, as well as, of course, probably the one thing most people really care about, the new Heaven Wheel Gauntlets and the Skygrasp Rope Dart. But again, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss out on future content regarding everything new with this update and future updates down the road. Today's video though is all about Inner Ways, and that's because we're going to be talking about the 4 brand new Inner Ways that are coming with the all new Hidden Mountain update. So with that being said, let's jump into the first and probably the most used, or about to be most used, Inner Way coming up, because this one is directly associated with the Gauntlet's weapon. This is the only new gold Inner Way that's coming, and it's called Soaring High. And here is the description. I'll go ahead and scroll down a little bit too, so you guys can kind of pause your screen if you wanted to read it. But essentially, this is an ability that buffs the Heaven Wheel Gauntlets. It calls out that when Heaven's Wills reaches 3 bars, the Gauntlet's heavy attack evolves into a Vile Condemned End, where it consumes the 3 bars of Heaven's Will to deal a massive amount of damage in a large area, and also granting invincibility while casting, which is huge. It does have a 18-second cooldown, so keep that in mind. Damaging an enemy with a Vile Condemned End refunds 1 bar of Heaven's Will. And again, this triggers once every 18 seconds. Its final effective affinity rate is converted at an actual rate into direct critical rate up to 12%. I get it, that sentence is confusing. You can do a lot of testing if you really want to jump into it. I'm going to get into the specifics in the in-depth gauntlet guide. So again, hit that like and subscribe if you really want to kind of understand the ins and outs of this Inner Way, as well as a few other ones that I'll be mentioning soon. The biggest thing to mention though is that the Soaring High Inner Way that we're talking about right here is directly associated with the gauntlets. If you are not using the gauntlets, do not use this Inner Way because it's just going to be a waste. The second Inner Way that's coming is called Sky Gripped. This one is actually focused on the new rope dart that is coming, known as the Skygrasp Rope Dart. So same situation, if you don't plan on using the Skygrasp Rope Dart, then don't even bother using the Sky Gripped Inner Way, because again, they are directly associated with each other. Essentially, this one calls out that when you use the martial arts skill Snaring Lash and damage an enemy, it inflicts Heaven's Might for up to 24 seconds, which is a long time in a fight in Where Winds Meet. Falcon's Pursuit and Vile Condemned series skill deal 10% bonus HP damage to targets affected by Heaven's Might from you. If Heaven Wheel Gauntlets is also equipped, casting Snaring Lash triggers Falcon's Pursuit once, dealing multi-hit damage and restoring 0.1 bars of Heaven's Will. Again, Heaven's Will is essentially the currency associated with the gauntlets and the Skygrasp Rope Dart. So again, you really want to maximize that as much as possible because it is directly associated with some damage output with these Inner Ways and some skills just associated with the weapons to begin with. So again, this is very, very helpful if you plan on utilizing both weapons. A lot of CN players tend to really focus on Soaring High, and not a ton of players use this one, but it's definitely not too shabby and does boost your power depending on your combo. So you should highly consider this one as well if you plan on maxing out both the gauntlet and the Skygrasp Rope Dart. The third Inner Way to call out is the Empirical Edge, which is also very, very interesting. And it's not only for the 2 new weapons. So, let's jump into it and you'll kind of get the gist of it. Essentially, when a martial art triggered effects deal damage, you gain cognition for 8 seconds, and that can stack up to 5 times. This increases your physical penetration and all types of attribute attack penetration by 2 when calculating the damage of the martial arts triggered effects. Plus, it's an additional increase of 2 for Heaven Wheel Gauntlets and heavy attacks with the gauntlets as well that have that Vile Condemned series skills. It's very applicable for martial art triggered effects, which include the gauntlets, like we just said, but it also calls out the Mortal Rope Dart, which is awesome, the Everspring Umbrella, and the Phalanx Blade. So again, it's not like you need to have the gauntlets for this one, but it's definitely favored towards the Heaven Will Gauntlets players. So again, if you are utilizing the gauntlets, you may want to take a closer look at this one. Again, we're going to jump into this in the in-depth gauntlet guide coming soon, so be sure to stay tuned for some more info on that one. And last but not least, we have Celestial Vigor. So after triggering a perfect dodge, you gain 3 stacks of Unseizing for 8 seconds. This increases damage and healing dealt by 0.5% and reduces damage taken from enemies by 0.5%. You can deal 1.2% bonus damage to enemies within 5 meters and 1.2 bonus healing to allies within 5 meters. It also reduces damage taken. So again, it's kind of like a small boost to your damage output and also healing. So if you're a healer, maybe take a closer look at this as well. But keep in mind too, all 4 of these have their own separate additional bonuses when you level it up. So I'm just going to scroll through these so all of you min-maxers out there can just kind of get a better taste of what is really offered for all of these. Because again, every single interway, the powers get expanded and definitely drastically increase based on the tier level. So again, feel free to pause the screen if you have to. I did want to just showcase this very quickly so you guys can really get the full picture when it comes to all 4 of the new interways coming. And that really does cover this video. Again, I have a lot of more kind of hidden tips and tricks and leaks and just kind of spoilers, honestly, when it comes to the Hidden Mountain update, as well as some other major updates coming down the road. So be sure to hit that like and subscribe button if you want to learn a little bit more about future content coming to Where Winds Meet, because let me tell you, there is a lot of it. So stay tuned for that, and thanks again for watching, and I hope you guys have a good day.
Serve heaven above!